Alrighty, I'm going to be teaching you how to beat 99% of all wholesalers in 2026. Now, honestly, that's straight up that's really easy because right when somebody has to call their first seller, they start trembling and they just quit, right? So 99% of people honestly quit before they can even make their third cold call. So, I mean, honestly, just make 3 cold calls, boom, you're the best. But that's not what I'm talking about, okay? What I'm talking about today is how you can beat 99% of wholesalers that are actually doing the business, right? How you can actually destroy them for success in wholesaling real estate. Because I'll be real with you, it has never been easier to win in wholesaling real estate. Okay. I have never been able to say it like the way we're at now, but like the majority of people getting into wholesaling real estate, they don't want to win. I'm just being real. They do not want it. They do not have what it takes. They're not willing to do what it takes to become successful. And as somebody who has absolutely killed themselves to become successful, people honestly have no idea what it takes to become successful anymore in wholesaling. And when I say it, I act like there's so much you have to do. But the real winners in wholesaling are the ones that just don't have an off switch. They're the ones that actually just show up every single day. And I'll be explaining everything. I'll get my whole game plan, everything like that for you today. But like, when it's like 2 things. I'm like, it's never been easier, but also most people can't do what is basically needed. And for me, it's like so easy to sit down for 6 hours and just grind and kill myself because I remember being in your place. I remember being absolutely broke, absolutely having no money, not having all this guap, all this motion in the industry, in wholesaling real estate. I remember having no money. It's simple, right? But the thing about it was I was willing to do whatever it took to get that money. And obviously, I went no Diddy, right? There's obviously those options out there, but I didn't do that. I did the legitimate way. I did it without selling my soul, no baby oil, nothing like that, and I was able to get rich wholesaling. So if you want to do it the way that the legit way, I'll teach you how to do it today. But the problem is most wholesalers out here, they just want a simple little solution where it's like, hey, you have no money, you work 1 hour a day, and you make all this cash in wholesaling. When that's just honestly not how this business really works. This business works in a way where if you can have enough inputs, you get outputs. And it's really just simple, easy math on this. But really, it's not even that crazy. It's actually way simpler than that. So I really, really think the people that succeed versus don't, it's easy. We get people posting every single day in the free wholesaling school group, like, hey, Zach, I did it, but what do I do now? I'm like, you start calling more. I mean, you start doing what's been working, right? But like, we're going to break this all down today. So if you're watching this and you have no like traction in this business, this is for you. If you're somebody who is getting a couple deals, but you have competition around you and you feel like, oh my gosh, I got to beat them. I got to beat that. I'll show you how to do it too. But a lot of wholesalers just don't really understand the fundamentals of this business. And again, I sound like that old basketball coach from the 1970s. It's the fundamentals. These kids these days like to dunk and you just got to do a layup. But I'm going to be teaching you exactly how to beat people, even if you're new in this business. Okay. So let's break this all down. Let's get into this. And as a guy that's done over 4,000 wholesaling real estate deals, guys, I'm 26 years old. I've done over 4,000 wholesaling deals the past 9 years. Holy moly, I'm an old head in this industry. I've been through the gambit. Again, you might seem like, Zach, you look pretty dang young. I mean, I'm 26, but I have the eyes of a 90-year-old when it comes to wholesaling. The problem is wholesaling real estate is like doggy years, okay, in business, all right? I'll be real with you, okay? 1 year of wholesaling is like 4 years of being a day trader or being like 3 years of being like a car salesman, whatever it is, right? Honestly, the amount of pain, trauma I've dealt with in 9 years of wholesaling is like 65 years for the average person. I mean, that's what, I don't know if anyone else here feels like that way, but like every year of wholesaling feels like 4 years of anything else, right? I've done all, I know people that do all these other things. It's like so different. And there's just so much changing and so much craziness going on, but I wouldn't really do anything else besides this. This is where I live and we're going to talk about it. So let's break this down. Let's get into it, guys. We are live. So do me a favor, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe. Don't forget it. Subscribe to the channel and let's break this all down and let's get into it. So everybody wants to know, Zach, what is your secret formula to go out here and beat everybody else in this industry? How do you beat everybody in here? Like, what is the key? Well, I'm gonna share some things, right? I think the number one thing people do not understand from me going on every part of this business, right? I remember being 16 years old, getting started, 17, my first deal, and being like, man, dude, if I could just make 100K a year, if I could just make 200K a year, then I made that, then I might make half a million a year, then a million, then two, then three, then four, then five, and then 10. Then we can talk about the rest later. But I make a lot of money wholesaling. I don't think that is a secret anymore. I do very well for myself. But the one thing I've been able to always do is basically teach people along the journey of everything I've learned and give that to you guys for free, which is, I know everyone loves that on YouTube, but I'm also able to give the lessons I learned throughout this entire process and then give you the lessons I had to deal with, right? I mean, to this day, I still make mistakes and I still learn from them, right? Because I'm still learning this business. But I'll be real with everyone watching this. 90% of the mistakes that you would make to make $1 million a year in wholesaling, I've made them. I've made about 90% of them. And I could have you avoid all my mistakes so you can go out here and become successful. Here, the crazy part is, like, if you take me anywhere in the world, right? Throw me any country in the world. And if I have a computer, internet connection, something, I'll be able to make a bunch of money wholesaling. And I mean, last Tuesday, let's talk about this. Was for doing this video on Sunday, then 5 days ago, me and Rick, right? We went live on the Flipler channel, and we basically did this. We just went on Zillow and we started cold calling people on Zillow, the for sale by owners. And I said, hey, I do over 100 days old, and I just lowball them like crazy. And guess what happened? Within 90 minutes, me and Rick were able to get 2 wholesaling real estate deals. One really good creative deal and one awesome deal where the guy threw in like 200K of lots that have plenty of comps. He showed the comps live on the stream. And the crazy part about it was everyone was like this, oh my gosh, how did you do that? And the real answer was, I did it by just doing it. I found the listing, the for sale by owner listing, not an on market. I don't do it on market. I'm a dirty realtor. And I just called them and we just lowballed them and we got the deal. We built a rapport. We made the offer. It was that simple. See, here's the thing. Any one of you could have gone out here, called that person up. My phone number was not a local area code, and I just called them and they answered. They would have answered your phone number too. And what was really interesting was I don't think me and Rick said anything crazy special. I didn't say something that changed the world. You could have done the same exact thing. You could have made the same exact offer. You could have done the same exact conversation. But at the end of the day, I have 2 deals from doing no marketing, spending no cash at all, just talking to somebody on my phone, and you didn't. Like, think about, like, even use agent as an example, right? I don't think I sound like a mature old man. I sound pretty young for my age, I guess, but like, if you sound like me, boom, you get a deal. No problem, right? It's just hilarious to me that people want to just complain all day about this. Oh, wholesaling's not for me. I don't have money. I literally went live on Tuesday, no cash, and let's go grab some deals. And guess what me and Rick always do? We can always grab deals. You know why? Because we can just go out here and just go on the internet, find a deal, and just create it out of thin air. And I show you exactly the entire process step by step for free. You're on the Zach Ginn channel right now, right? Because it's Sunday night stream. But if you go on the live stream and look at my stream on Tuesday, me and Rick calling live, we literally did what you could have done. There's nothing. Again, I'm a human. I bleed just like you. I'm no special. The one thing I have over you is I have a lot of experience. I'll be real with you. Okay. I used to work 15, 16 hours a day for about 7 years straight in wholesaling real estate. All that experience created some magic sauce called confidence. And I have all this experience. I have all this belief, which is what confidence is. And now I can talk to a seller with no problem. I can deal with jerky sellers and really rude people all day, but it doesn't faze me. I don't care. Again, I don't try to be funny, but like, I used to play Call of Duty, Black Ops 1, okay, and Modern Warfare 2, Xbox Live. There's nothing you can tell me to faze me. I've been through the ringer, okay? I've been through middle school. I've heard the most nastiest words a human being could say to me, okay, as jokes and all these things, but it's like, you really can't faze me on the phones. And the funniest part about it is if you just really understand that fear of the phones. Everyone has a fear of the phones. It's like, oh, what do I say when someone says something mean to me? It's like, or when they say something aggressive. Just at the end of the day, if you can understand this, there are three simple things. If you know this, you will not be phased when talking to any seller. I don't care how mean, how rude, how crazy they are. Let's go over this one more time, and then I'm going to go. I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about. But basically, if you're scared right now, if you're brand new, talking to a motivated seller, if you know these three things, you are going to have instant confidence. Because a lot of people fundamentally in the back of their minds, this is what they don't think they know the answer to. So they're scared talking to a seller because they feel like they're going to ask them these three scary questions. Okay. Number one, who are you? Oh my gosh, he asked me who I am. Get that all the time. Now, if you answer it like an absolute clown, I'm Zach with Zach Home Solutions. We're a real estate investment / potential hedge fund in the area. We're looking for more investment opportunities. My name's Zach. I buy houses for cash. Me and my partner, we're looking to buy houses. Why are you looking to buy houses? Huh? Well, I mean, me and my partner can do multiple things. I mean, we can buy the house, fix it up, put it back on the market. We can buy it and then rent it out. I mean, it really depends on the property. I mean, tell me more about why are you looking to sell the property? You know, I'm looking to make money. Shocker. Then third, so who you are, why do you want to? So like who you are, why do you want to buy my property, right? And I mean, I guess the other question could be, when are you looking to buy my property too? I mean, the third one's always interesting because it's like, where are you looking to buy too? It's like, where are you looking to buy? Who are you? What do you want? Why do you want it? So again, who you are, my name's Zach, why, and when. Okay. Who are you? Who are you? Why do you want to buy my property? How do you want to buy my property? How I want to buy your property? I mean, I want to buy your property for cash. Who are you? What do you want? My name's Zach. I buy houses. What do you want? I'm seeing if you're looking to sell your property. Why? So I can make money and you can sell the property for cash. All right, let's go over this one more time. Okay, let's not complicate this. Who are you? My name's Zach. Okay. Why do you want to buy my property? So I can make money. I mean, I can either buy it to rent it out. I can go buy it to fix it up and put it back on the market, whatever me and my partner want to do. Okay. So what do you want? I want to buy properties for cash. Why? And you're like, so I'm just telling you, I know this sounds so stupid. I know it sounds so silly, but if you know who you are, what you want, and why you want it, life gets a lot easier. Just being real gets a lot easier. See, a lot of people don't know if you're a scammer, if you're a realtor, stuff like that. But okay, let's get into this. So first and foremost, I think the number one lesson I think everyone watching this should first and foremost understand is the emphasis on ROT versus ROI. Most people don't understand this. I don't know why we have this banner thing. There we go. Timer off. Okay. I think it's doing this stupid thing and whatever. All right. So ROI. How do I stop? And whatever. Bro, this is ridiculous. All right, cool. So ROT versus ROI. I think this is probably one of the biggest questions people have. But it's like, Zach, what's something that people like really don't understand about scaling up or even having success or beating other wholesalers? I think the first thing is your return on time is going to be so much better than your return on investment. Because if anybody in here wants the best return on investment, what would it be? You spent no money and you made a ton of money. Now, if you're absolutely broke, then yeah, ROI is really all you care about, right? Because I want to be able to spend no money and make some money. Okay, cool. But again, then you look at return on time. If you're broke, what's the best return on your time? And the way I describe this again is how much time do I have to put into wholesaling for me to produce a deal? I think everybody in here, like, that's all that matters, right? Again, I'll be using a lot of gym analogies today. Don't think I'm like calling you fat or something. I like gym analogies because I think gym analogies and kind of what we're doing today kind of matches really good. So one example is your let's look at ROT in the gym. let's say there's 3 types of exercises, and your only focus, not to build muscle, but it's to lose weight. If you are fat and you want to lose weight and you only have an hour a day in the gym, does anybody in here know what is the best return on your time? What burns the most calories in the shortest amount of time? Does anybody in here know? Okay. Let me know. Does anybody know what burns the most calories in the shortest amount of time in the gym? Does anybody know? So it's pretty simple. It's actually kind of funny. Does anybody in here know? All right. So I think statistics have shown a couple things, right? Not running. Okay. What burns the most calories in the shortest amount of time is going to be either the Stairmaster, jump rope. Okay. Jump rope sucks. Or one of those rowing machines if you do it crazy, right? Now, why would that, if you have, burpees too, but like if you have absolutely an hour at the gym and you need to lose weight, that's your only goal, that's what you have to do. Now, if you have an hour in the gym and your goal is to gain muscles, is running going to be the best way to get there? No, not at all. What would be the best way to get there is by going out here and lifting weights. See, your goals have to be different. So in wholesaling, a lot of people have 2 goals here, right? Obviously, everybody generally wants the goal of being rich and making money, but there's 2 goals in wholesaling. It's like, I have no money and I want to do something, or, hey, I want to have a good ROT, I want a good ROI, but also I don't want to go out and kill myself for 17 hours, right? It's like this. If you have to go to the gym and you have to burn 500 calories before you can get out, you have 2 choices. You can go walk for 2 hours, or you can go run for 20 minutes. You have 2 choices. You can walk for 2 hours, or you can run for 20 minutes. What is a better return on your time? Obviously, running. But there's a lot more mental anguish with running than there is walking for 2 hours, right? Just be real with everyone, okay? It's just so much different, right? Now, everyone's like, well, so you're either guys, it's like wholesaling. So I have to spend a bunch of money in wholesaling, or I have to spend no money and put all my, so I spend a bunch of money in wholesaling and I don't put too much time in, but I get good results, or I have no money and I have to kill myself. No, there's happy in betweens. The way I like to do it is I like to go out here and go in the Stairmaster, and I like to put like Dragon Ball Z on or something like that. And I like to put it like crazy intensity, like 11 or 12. And so I'm watching my Dragon Ball Z, which entertains me while I'm on the Stairmaster, versus sprinting to music, which still sucks. So it's like he's a little happy median, right? You burn a bunch of calories, but you don't have to like sprint and kill yourself, right? That's the way I look at things, okay? But basically, no, I can't watch One Piece on a Stairmat. I need to be One Piece. You have to sit down and be locked in, okay? There's too many double entendres. There's too many. One thing happens, it affects everything. Don't get me started on this, okay? One Piece, you cannot do this on a treadmill. You have to be focused really bad, okay? Just being real, okay? But yeah, 11, 12 is crazy. Okay, so what I'm talking about is we have 2 goals here in wholesaling. It's like, do you want to get a deal really fast, or do you want to get a deal with no money? Those are usually the 2 questions a lot of people have. And then obviously, do you want to scale out, right? So for most people watching this, I will tell you that the number one thing I can tell any beginner or anybody in wholesaling looking to scale, or if you make $1 million and you want to make 12 million, Zach, what's the secret? I mean, the real secret here is volume is king. Like that is the absolute like king of this industry when it comes to how do I know if you're doing well or not? It's volume. Now, volume of what? That's the real question. Now, for most people, it's going to be volume of the amount of offers you make. If you can make a ton of offers, that is going to be the absolute thing that's going to help you out the most. Because what I found with volume is volume can just help destroy sheer stupidity. Because if you do enough volume, you get a crazy amount of experience. And when you get a crazy amount of experience, then your brain starts learning, right? So let's say right now you suck at closing sellers. Guess what? If you go out here and try to close 1,000 sellers, your brain is already automatically going to know, like a dog, just being real, like a dog, okay, good behaviors and bad behaviors. So if you're doing all these offers and they all say no, but you change it up and you say it in a weird way and they say yes, like I'm going to keep doing it that way. It's negative and positive experiences, right? And so from my sheer experience of just making offers to sellers and see what works, what doesn't. I have my own method of doing it, obviously, but I cheat sheet at freewholesaling.com, but everyone knows that, right? So the thing is, volume is going to be king here. And the reason why volume is king here is volume creates experience. And with experience, you create skills. This is the very important part, and the part not a lot of people really understand or talk about here. But basically, if you just put enough volume in calling, texting, making offers, heck, even doing FISBOs or drawing for dollars, all these, like, you're going to have so much experience that experience is going to also create a ton of skill sets. Now you have skills, now you have experience. What I found is if you have a ton of skills and a ton of experience, you know how to close sellers really good. So again, experience is just like time put in. But with all that time you put in, you have skills too. And what you're going to find is when you have a ton of skills and you have a ton of experience, you create something called confidence. Shocker. You create all this confidence. Now, some people in here are new. So they're like, Zach, what in the world is confidence? And some people are like, Zach, you've said it a million times. You've said it a million times. But guys, skills plus experience. Oops. I don't even know what that was. Skills plus experience equal confidence. Now, confidence generally is just a belief in the words you say and the things you do. So how do you go out here and just close people and sound so good and so sure of yourself? It's confidence, because I believe in the words I say and the things I do. That's why when I talk to you, I have no started. Oh, I think you can do it. No, like I said, like, I believe everybody in here watching this absolutely can make $1 million next year wholesaling real estate. It's just a fact. If you have enough volume and you know exactly how to create a system and enough experience, you're going to be able to close sellers no problem. That'll never be your issue here in wholesaling. The massive issue I think most people have in wholesaling is they just can't get that confidence because they don't just have enough volume. And obviously, when you have confidence, you can close sellers all day. Now, the thing about it too is I get a lot of wholesalers that they go out here and just they say a bunch of funny things, and I see a lot of wholesalers have a lot of self-doubt creeping in, and we're like, deep down they actually don't believe they can close or like do deals or anything like that. It's just so the general consensus and the general rule I want to let everyone know is like, if you put enough volume into wholesaling, like straight up, if you put enough volume in this business, there's going to be no doubt. Okay. So I think I wrote this wrong. Creates no doubt if this will work out. So again, what I'm saying is if you put enough time in this business, right, you'll create absolute zero doubt if this business is going to work out for you. Like just understand this. So if you're asking yourself right now, is this going to work out for me? How do I know if this is going to work? You have to do so much dang volume. It doesn't make any physical sense why you are going to become a success or a failure in wholesaling. So let's go through some examples. If you go out here and produce 1,000 drawing for dollars leads and you call them, there's no doubt in your mind, my mind, or anybody's mind if wholesaling real estate will go out here and, quote, work out for you. Okay. Again, if you put 1,000 drawing for dollars leads in this business and you call them, give them skip trace, right? There is no doubt if this business is going to work out for you. See, that's the thing no one really wants to talk about. Oh my gosh, is this business going to work out? Is wholesaling going to work out for you? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Guys, if you do 1,000 drawing for dollars leads and you call them up, you're going to get a deal. So there's no doubt if it's going to work out for you, right? So how do I get ahead 99%? Just do 1,000 drawing for dollars leads. That's a lot of work. Time and time again, I see men and women go out here and try to get into wholesaling and they fail. And it's always funny to me. It's like trying to fail, going out here trying to lose weight. Okay, I'm going to say the weight thing again. Hopefully I'm not triggering somebody. But I promise you, I don't care whoever's watching this, and they might think I'm crazy. I don't really care. If I gave you 1,000 calories of pure table sugar, okay, anybody watching this, And if you are 400 pounds and I gave you 1,000 calories of just table sugar, and that's all you ate all day, I give you no, let's do this even easier. I give you 1,000 calories of cookies. So I give you 4 cookies, 250 calories each. I give you 4 cookies a day. That's all you can eat. I don't care what your metabolism is. If I give you if you're at 400 pounds and I give you 4 cookies, I promise you, you will lose weight. You will lose weight. I don't care what your metabolism is. You will lose weight. It just doesn't happen. I can't magically lose weight. It don't work like that. That's not how the game works. So same thing in wholesaling. I live in reality. If you do 1,000 trying for dollars leads, you'll get a deal. Now, some of y'all can't keep your hands out of the cookie jar. Just being real. Okay. They used to do these for offensive linemen back in the day. They used to call it the cookie diet. I don't know if anyone knows this, but like if you needed to have a offensive lineman lose weight, all they did was the cookie diet. Now, probably not healthy, but what they did was they said the offensive linemen were allowed to eat cookies. All they wanted. These guys are 300, 400 pounds. They're trying to get down to 300 pounds for the season. They say you can eat as many cookies as you want, but it has to be a cookie. It has to be a chocolate chip cookie. And so what they did is the first day, they just, right? Oh, this is easy. Day 2, they're sick of it. Day 3, they don't want to like live. And day 4, they're like, this is the worst thing I've ever done in my entire life. And so you eat like 3 or 4 cookies that you're like, I don't even want to eat anymore. This is so stupid. And basically they ended up eating like 1,500 calories of cookies. And guess what happens? They lost all the weight. Because cookies are good when you're eating other things. But if it's all you eat is cookies, oh, no, you don't want to do that, right? So just being real with everybody, right? If you want to get ahead of 99% of wholesalers, I mean, if you just do 1,000 drive for dollars leads, you're going to work. Now you might ask yourself, Zach, is wholesaling going to work out for me? Okay, well let's go over this one. This is a really easy one. If you go out here and go to X Leads, right, and you text 25,000 sellers this month, they're high equity leads. Wholesaling will work out for you. All right, this is just me living in the absolute reality of this business. I don't really know anyone that's texting 25,000 people a month that's not getting a deal. It just doesn't. It physically doesn't happen. You know why it physically doesn't happen? Because that is pretty much what you need to go out here and start having success. It's just true. If you go out here, okay, and you try to cold call 12,000, if you pull a high equity list on X Leads, right, and use a triple line dialer and cold call them, right, there's no doubt this business won't work out for you. It's just true. It's just a fact. Okay. The only thing that I could tell you is if you don't work, it won't work out. Okay. It won't work if you don't work. That's the thing. Now, again, I'm talking about doing the work, doing volume and stuff like this. I'll let everybody also know that consistent volume is also one of the most important things in here. And everyone loves talking about just volume in general. And I literally am a victim. I just told you about just text 25,000 people this month. But I will let you know consistent volume is going to be way better than actual volume itself. And what I mean by this is if you go out here and do 2 12-hour sessions of cold calling, right? So you call basically 24 hours. So you cold call from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, I called 24 hours this week. Ugh. That is half as efficient as calling 5 days a week, 5 hours a day, 5 days a week. If you called from 2 to 7 p.m., Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're probably going to have double the results, maybe 30, 40% more results than just doing it on 2 days. Because consistent volume is always better. And again, here's me with another gym analogy, so don't get mad at me. But again, I'm going to use another gym analogy because maybe it's funny, I don't know. But same thing with working out at the gym. Okay, I'm just being real with everybody watching this. All right. If you go out here, all right, and basically go to the gym for 7 hours for one day. So tomorrow you go to the gym from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and all you just work out like crazy. All right. You're going to get less results in bodybuilding, whatever you want to do, than going to the gym 7 days straight, an hour a day. Now, if anyone in here wants to argue with me on this, I'd love to have a scientific discussion on this. But that's just that's just facts. Okay. Same thing happens in wholesaling real estate. A lot of people want to grind for like 2 days and then take 4 or 5 days off. It's absolutely ridiculous. You got to show up every single dang day to actually go out here and get the results. See, not a lot of people that they don't want to do it. They want to take days off. They want to chill. They don't want to actually like, oh my gosh, do something that's difficult in their life once. Guys, show up that's why I always say this about the gym, and this is my last gym analogy for the day, so you're welcome. But do you know the only way gyms make money is if you don't show up? And so they basically, so a gym can only handle maybe 300 people at most, right? And they have like 10,000 signups. And they account, this is the business model. If you show up to the gym every single day, 5-6 days a week, they had to lose money on you. You're somebody they lose money on. They actually lose money if you go to the gym. That's how expensive it is to run a gym. But they make all the money from the people that sign up that don't go. Isn't that hilarious? That's actually how they make the money. Because if everyone paying went to the gym every single day, they would lose all their money. It would be brutal for them. That's the crazy part about wholesaling. And the same thing about gym, it's baked in that you ain't going to do it. That's the problem. And it's kind of hilarious to me, but like so many people just don't understand that. And so just really get that. Now, another lesson I'll let everyone know is an ounce of planning is worth a pound of grind. And basically what I mean by this is everybody in here wants to they get so pumped up, woo! Excited about wholesaling. Like, let's go. And I'm pumped up for you guys. You're going to change your life right now from wholesaling. Like, let's go. But like, I get pumped up for it. I get a little anime. I get a little excited talking about wholesaling. Everyone knows this about me. But I'll let you know this. An ounce of planning is so much better than just sheer grinding. What I mean by this is it's like going in a direction, okay? So if you're supposed to go west, but you generally know, I should be going this way and just start running towards the direction, it would be way better if you knew exactly where you had to go and then start running, even if it was an extra 30 seconds, an extra 2 minutes, figuring out, hey, where exactly where I got to run to? Run in this direction, and it's kind of over there. If you know the exact point. So the whole point here is if you spent, let's say you're gonna work 20 hours this week. If you just took one of those hours in sitting down and planning what you had to do. Hey, I'm going to pull this list. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this, and this. This is my plan for the week. Boom. And you go to work, right? My general rule for this is if you wake up in the morning and you say, what should I do today to get a wholesale deal? That is the worst thing you could possibly be doing. Because if you wake up and you don't know what you got to do, whoo, you're behind the 8 ball there. Then you're just going to be running around. So an ounce of planning is worth a pound of grind, which basically means, again, if you can plan and then grind on the plan, it is way better than just running out there trying to grind. Make a plan. That is super important. Okay. Super important. All right. Everybody loves to go out here and just run around and I don't know what I should do. Have an actual real plan. Now, again, another thing I will let everybody know is you can't go out here and fake the action. A lot of people want to go out here and they want to fake the grind. They want to pretend like they're really on it. And you see this happen all the time, right? This is just wholesaling in general. This is like anyone that runs a business. Again, unfortunately, even for me, like I sometimes roll my eyes when I hear the word entrepreneur sometimes, because I just think it's so oversaturated of people. They like to say it. Every 14-year-old boy loves to say it. But it's like, are you going out here and actually putting the work? Like, that's the real thing. Anyone can call themselves basically like a bodybuilder, but like, do you got any muscles? Can you bench 315? Like, these are the real questions we got to start asking. But like, you can't go out here and fake the action. Oh, I'm grinding, bro. I'm grinding, bro. Nobody cares. Legitimately. Okay. Nobody cares that you're grinding. You might get a tap on the back, say, keep going, son. But at the end of the day, nobody actually cares if you make it or not in wholesaling. I know that's brutal. I know like that's awful to hear. Legitimately, the only person that really cares about your success right now is going to be you and maybe your mom. Everyone else, maybe your dad, maybe, but like your spouse. But like, that's it. Like, no one genuinely cares. All these people on social media, all of your friends, they really don't care. And half of them don't want you to actually do better than them. And so you have to be your own best cheerleader. You have to be your own person who's just whipping yourself in your mind every single day to go out here and do better and better and better. Because you might be telling yourself you're doing all these great things. And I see it happen all the time in wholesaling. Someone's, I'm wholesaling. I'm starting to do deal. Like, that's great. But just do the action. Don't practice. Just put your head down and let the words and the results speak for themselves. And I'll tell everyone some personal stories at the end of this, but like, I'll let everybody know that like, even when you get rich in wholesaling, like even trying to prove people wrong doesn't even matter anymore because you already proved it to yourself. And that's the thing not a lot of people talk about. It's like when you get started, you feel like you have this chip on your shoulder and you want to prove to your family and your friends that like you've made it, like you're actually like that guy. And you feel like if you had, like some people do this, like they buy all these fancy things. They buy a Lamborghini, they buy all these fancy things, a nice Mercedes, whatever, right? And they feel like now I'm in the Mercedes, people are going to respect me now. And the truth is, nobody cared you had a Mercedes. Nobody cared you had any of these nice things. And honestly, the people that think you're cool because you have a nice car are not the right people you're going to be dealing with. And also, you bought it so you can make yourself feel better. And at the end of the day, when you're actually rich, you don't need to go flaunt to everyone that you're a multimillionaire. Like you don't need to go out here and let everyone know. And that's another thing, like if you know type thing. But once you become a millionaire in wholesaling, you just don't want to brag about it anymore. Like it doesn't matter. Like it don't even matter. Okay. But the craziest thing I tell everyone right now is you just can't fake the action. You got to go out here and have such undeniable proof that you are that guy. You're that gangster out here in wholesaling. You can do it. And the way I describe it is basically, I call it calls versus contacts. You see, I get a lot of people that go complain to me, and we'll do some one-on-ones today. I always love doing those. Basically, I'll talk to people live, and they'll say, Zach, I've been calling 4 hours a day, and I'm getting no deals. You said if I did it, I'd become successful. So what's up now? Legitimately, let me know in the comments. Like, I think people know this. Like, people legitimately tell me this to my face. Like, you said if I'll do it, I'll become rich and successful. No, I'm not. What's up, bro? You lying to me? You're a liar, you're a scammer? First question is, how much money do you pay me? 0, but you're a scammer. What are you talking about? And I'm like, okay, well, let's have a conversation. You call 4 hours a day? Yeah, I call 4 hours a day. Okay, how many calls do you make? I make 1,000 calls a day. Yeah, but you didn't expect that. Okay, how many of those people pick up? What? How many of those people, when you call, actually pick up the phone and say hello? It doesn't matter. What do you mean don't matter? It doesn't matter. Okay, so let me ask this. Where you call? I'm calling on my phone. Okay, on your phone, there's these notifications that say you called and no one answered, and you called and somebody answered. Go look it up. They're like, okay, fine. Yesterday, how many calls did you make? I made 100 calls, or like 300 calls. I made 300 calls. How many people picked up? 3. Okay, so you're telling me of the course of the week for 5 days, 15 people picked up their phone and said hello. Yeah. And you didn't get a deal. You talked to 15 people, you didn't get a deal. Yeah, what's up with that? What? Like, I legitimately have people, and I'm like, so you're telling me you got 15 people to answer the phone in a week? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, I get 15 people to answer the phone in an hour from one VA in my company. Without VA, I usually get 60, especially if he's in a good dialer. Like, no, I put 4 hours. It don't matter how many hours you put. It don't even matter how many calls you make. Just to let you know, a call, like when I say calls, it's all metaphorical. Okay, it's metaphysical. It's in the multiverse. Okay, it's Neo in the Matrix type thing. Okay, making a call is not the goal. The goal is when, okay, you call somebody and they pick up the phone and say hello, and you let them know you're looking to buy a house. Not that you call and nobody answers the dang thing. It's ridiculous. Okay, I have grown men crying to me in their pajamas. All right, going out here and saying, Zach, I called 1,000 people. I didn't get one dang deal. How 3 people picked up. You have a really bad contact rate. See, the point is when you make a call, somebody picks up the phone and they say hello. That's a contact. So the way I like to, okay, there's another gym analogy. I'm sorry. Don't get mad at me. But again, you can be in the gym posting with your Gymshark apparel, whatever the kids do these days, and basically be posting you've been in the gym for 2 hours and not lift one dang weight. And then after a year, so let's do this. You have 2 guys. You have one guy who's a poser. He spends 2 hours in the gym, but he doesn't do anything. And then you have another guy who's in the gym for 2 hours and only does weight lift. In a year, they're both in the gym for 2 hours, but one guy's jacked, one guy isn't. What's up with that? It's because it doesn't matter you being in the gym. It's what you do in the gym. So it doesn't matter how many calls you make, how many people actually pick up the dang phone. It's so important, right? It's so important. But so many people, like, they don't even understand that. Like, again, it doesn't register in people's brains sometimes. But again, you can't fake going out here and wholesaling. You just can't fake this business. Okay. You either do the work or you're not. Now, the last thing, not the last thing, but like another thing about this is you need to work smarter, not harder. And I think this is something a lot of wholesalers don't really recognize till they really have to. But so many people just work way harder than they need to do when they need to. And what I do, I call this my digging versus digging with a shovel versus digging with your hands. So there is a return on your investment and a return on your time. So if wholesaling real estate was just digging sand in the ground at the beach, so whoever can dig the deepest hole in an hour makes the most money. Well, let's say now in general, in a week, who can dig the deepest hole? Well, I want to do it without spending any money at all. I say, okay, great. You are going to dig with your hands, bro. What do you mean? Or grab a stick and try to dig with a stick. What do you mean? No. I want a bulldozer. And I want one of those, what is it, excavator? My dream is to own an excavator and just play around with it at a job site. I don't know why. I feel like a little kid in that thing. But yeah, an excavator. Okay. So let me show people what an excavator is. Maybe because I'm a kid at heart, but tell me if you're a guy or a gal, it would not be sick to go out here and just dig holes with this thing. Would that be sick or not? Let's just be real. That'd be kind of fun. Okay. I'll be real. So people in here say, Zach, I want to get one of those things, but I don't want to spend any money. I'm like, they generally just don't give those out to people to use for free. I've tried. Trust me. I was 6 years old once asking if I could ride one. And they said something about regulations and me not being of the ability to do it. Still hurts. But what I'm basically saying is, if you want to dig and you have no money, you dig with a stick or your hands. That's what you got. That's what you do. You don't have any options. Now, if you just want to do it without spending any money, dig a hole with no money at all, that's what you do. If you have some money, we go to a pawn shop and go buy a shovel for $3. Now, that $3 is an amazing return on your investment. It's also an amazing return on your time. So the one guy's going to put, I'm digging without spending any money. Yeah, but I'm digging a hole 7 times faster and I spent $3. That's generally what wholesaling real estate is to a point. And now there's digging with your hands. There's digging with shovels. And there's digging with people you give the shovel to somebody, you pay them to dig for you. And then you got the excavator, which is like the whole machine. Then you got like those digging machines, right? But like same thing in wholesaling. There are levels to, what you could do in marketing, right? You can go out here, use your hands. You can use a shovel. You can pay someone to use the shovel for you. Then you got like the crazy massive machines that will go dig, but they're very expensive to rent. Okay. And so in wholesaling real estate, that's the craziest thing. It's like, so if you might say, oh, this guy has a shovel, he's going to destroy the other guy. Well, that is not how wholesaling works. You're going to have a guy digging with his hands for 7 hours straight, dig a crazy hole. And the guy with the shovel dug for an hour and gave up and went to sleep. The guy, I'll be real, the guy who digs with his hands for 7 hours is going to be the guy who's with a shovel for an hour. You know why? Because he didn't have the right tools, but he had enough time and he put enough grind in. He was able to overbeat the guy without the shovel. And so that's the same thing in wholesaling. Just because you have a tool doesn't mean you're automatically going to win. This shovel sucks. A shovel's a shovel, bro. Like, unless it's made out of plastic, a shovel's a Home Depot shovel. And here's the thing everyone says, Zach, what shovel should I get? Should I get a Lowe's shovel? Should I get a Home Depot shovel? What shovel should I get? It's like they're both going to be generally the same. So go after it, right? Now, the thing I'll tell you is X Leads is about 50% cheaper than in all the other shovels, and it's twice as effective, and it's way better. But I want to get into that today. Guys, digging with a shovel, it's way better. I would tell everyone, like, so what a shovel is, I always say, is just get X Leads. Go to xleads.com. That software, they'll do the skip tracing for you, CRM, dialer, texting, all that stuff. Just telling you, that's what I recommend. That's what I tell everyone to do. But that's for a different day. Okay. So the same thing I described, this is like a dialer versus not a dialer. Obviously in wholesaling, okay? Obviously in wholesaling, if you go out here and call with a dialer, you're just going to make more calls than if you have to manually call yourself. A dialer is a software that just calls back to back to back to back. We have a triple line dialer on xleads.com, right? It'll do it all for you, right? It doesn't mean that you're going to become successful. It just makes it a lot easier. That is the whole point, okay? Same thing with manual texting versus SMS blasting. You can copy and paste phone numbers and try to manually text. You can probably send about 30 texts per hour. Or if you had X Leads, for example, you could send 2,000 texts within the next hour by just snapping your fingers, Thanos style. So again, there's manual texting, there's actual physical texting, right? There's SMS blasting. There is manual skip tracing versus instant skip tracing. So for example, if you pull a list of 1,000 drawing for dollars leads, you can go out here and use a website called truepeoplesearch.com, truepeoplesearch.com. And to do 1,000 skip traces, it'll probably take you, let's say it's 30 seconds per record. So 30 seconds per record, it would probably take you 500 minutes. It'll probably take you about 14 hours to skip trace that versus an X Leads, it takes 2 seconds to skip trace it, right? So again, manual skip tracing versus instant skip tracing, right? So I'll tell you this, again, go to X Leads if you want to text blast or cold call. If you're looking to get data, X Leads, don't have to pay for skip tracing anymore. And the one thing I let you know is a lot of people in wholesaling get scammed like really bad by paying for skip tracing. Like it's absolutely insane to me. So a lot of people say, Zach, you have to go out here and spend, you need to go out here and spend, 15 cents for a skip trace record. Guys, X Leads has skip tracing for free, and it is just way better. And I want to give everybody a very interesting story, okay, about ROI versus ROT. All right. And again, I'm going to use this. This is actually a personal story that happened to me last week. I'm not going to, I'm not going to talk smack about anyone. I'm just going to say a personal story that I had. And this was very funny to me. This is a natural fight I had. Okay. So this is an ROI versus ROT story. All right. I had somebody. So just so you know, inside of M2M, my paid school group, right? We let people basically use call centers for like at cost or below cost, right? And basically, we've tested like 5 or 6 call centers inside of M2M. And we have like 3 right now that are absolutely amazing. We had 3 that I liked, but either they decided they don't want to deal with M2M people, or they just weren't good enough for us, right? Now, one of these call centers out of 6 decided to do this. They called me out of the blue and basically said, hey, your data on X Leads sucks. We hate your skip tracing. I said, really? It's the worst skip tracing? I said, wow, okay. Well, compared to what? It compared to this software, because I'm like, how is X Leads worse than this software, this software, this software? Because I was about to say, so here's one thing I like doing. X Leads uses the same skip tracing as some very big software companies. X Leads is actually the second biggest wholesaling software company, but X Leads uses the same skip tracing as some very big software companies. So I always get people saying this, Zach, I hate Heinz ketchup, but Kirkland ketchup, oh, it's the best. I'm like, it's the same thing. It like is literally the same. It's like saying this, I hate, car guys are gonna love this, but it's like, I hate I hate Rolls Royce's engines, but I love BMW's engines. Bro, it's the same one. It's the same engine. Dude, I hate R8s, but those Lamborghinis, bro, oh, the best. I I hate a V10 Audi R8, but a V10 Lamborghini Aventador, oh, way better. Way better. Way better. And if you know, you know. All my car guys are gonna be screaming in here at me because they know it's like an Audi R8 uses the same chassis and I believe the same engine. I could be wrong. Um, I believe it's the same engine. Let me actually make sure. Yeah, the Lamborghini Huracan and the Audi R8 use the same five. This is the thing people have. The Audi R8 and the Lamborghini Huracan have the same 5.2 liter V10 engine. And so a lot of people say, "Oh, I hate the Audi R8. The Huracan's way better." It's like, bro, it's the same engine. But like so I'm like, okay, well, compare me to another software company. They no, no, no. I hate it compared to my skip tracing company. And I said, oh boy. I said just like that. I said, oh boy. You have a skip. So you're telling all the people on the call center that don't use X leads, go use your skip tracing company. I said, let me guess. Let me guess. You make a lot of money on the skip trace company. Like, what do you mean? I said, so run me through, because if X leads sucks, why does it suck? Well, we found X leads is 10% worse. Right. And I'm not going to get on that because this was over a call, but it was about 10 to 15% worse than their skip tracing company. I said, please tell me, how much does the skip tracing cost? Zach, it only costs 15 cents a record. I said, wait, let me do the math here. So they will get 10% better results if they spent 15 cents on 20,000 leads a month. So if they spend an extra $3,000 a month with you, they would get 10% extra results. And how much do you charge them? Let me show you how crazy this is. This is an actual fight I had with somebody. So this is the definition of ROT versus ROI. So this person told me, this is crazy to me. Okay. This person's crazy. So this call center was like $1,200 a month, okay, for the M2M users. That was like at cost. And they said, all you have to do is just pay $3,000 in extra skip tracing costs, because 15 cents for 20,000 records. And all they have to do is produce $4,200. That's what they spend. And they'll go out here and get 44 leads a month versus your terrible software, Zach. And then this is us. This is X leads, right? He calls the same list, this person. They spent, no joke, they would spend $1,200 on the call center, and they would spend $97 for skip tracing on X leads. So they're all in $1,300, and they would produce 40 leads a month. Now, this person's trying to school me on the phone. They say, Zach, this is why they have to use my skip tracing company and not use X leads. I said, so you're telling me, okay, that this person has to drop $3,000 in skip tracing just to get an extra 4 leads a month. So I did the math. I said, and this is the way I did the math. So I'm like, you're telling me that it's worth it to spend it's an extra $750 a lead. It's $750 extra a lead to go use your skip tracing company. I said, are you crazy? They said, no, you have to use my skip. You're just trying to make money, dude. I know you have like 90% profit margins on that. So who here would do this? Would you rather spend $4,200 a month for 44 leads? Or would you rather spend $1,300 for 40 leads a month? That's the truth about ROI in wholesaling, because there's a cost. What if you, for example, just had 3 VAs instead? You would have, for the same cost, you would spend, no joke, $3,900 if you had 3 X leads accounts and 3 VAs, and you'd be able to get 120 leads a month. So I told this to the guy, and he didn't want to talk to me after that. He ignored me. It's kind of funny. it's kind of hilarious to me. But it's like, well, you could just get 3 VAs with the same skip tracing as X leads, and that's all you have to do. It's just hilarious to me. So I'm just being real with everybody watching this. Okay. So many people just want to say, dude, you got to drop all this money. It's the excavator cost. It is, first of all, it's the excavator cost. It's the digging with your hands cost, using a shovel. And so a lot of people like still to this day tell you to spend 15, 20 cents a lead for skip tracing. Like if X leads is 10% worse than paying for 20-cent skip tracing, the sheer volume makes up for that. And that's why people really understand that, right? Again, it's like going out here and buying a Lamborghini versus a Toyota Corolla. A Toyota Corolla will get you from point A to B, and you'll get 100,000 miles. The car will cost you 20 grand. Versus a Lamborghini, which would get you 300 grand for the car, and you'll only get to 20,000 miles for the whole thing goes kaput. It's like, what's better? The Lamborghini goes faster. It's not about going fast, bro. It's about getting point A to B. And that's the thing nobody really talks about. Now, my last thing I would let everyone to know is nobody cares about your grind story. They only care about your results. Again, people, especially men, I don't know. I'm just using men for an example because I'm not a gal, and I'm not gonna speak for them how they think. But for guys, most guys don't care about you grinding. They only care about the results. Guys only really care about the basketball players or the athletes at the game. You might be like, Zach, what do you mean by that? That's all it is. Okay. That's all it is. No. You see, I'm a little crazy. I care more about the grind than the actual results. But everybody goes out here and claps and praises Kobe for being one of the best basketball players of all time. But nobody ever praises Kobe for the amount of work he's put in to actually go out here and make the shots. Same LeBron, same thing, all these great basketball players. You see, everybody loves Kobe Bryant go dropping all these points and winning all these championships, but nobody sees that Kobe Bryant works out 6-7 hours every single day to perfect his craft. Rest in peace, Kobe. It's just hilarious to me. Like absolutely hilarious to me. You see, nobody cares about your grind story. They only care about only people care about Patrick Mahomes for the plays he makes, but nobody cares about the amount of training and effort and blood, sweat, and tears he had to put in to actually get to that point. Nobody cares about that. I'm weird. I think that's really cool, but like nobody cares. That's the thing about it. And I'll be real with everybody watching this too. And a lot of people are going to feel this is weird, but like also nobody cares about your grind story either. Like you're like a lot. I hear a lot of stories from you guys and gals about why you want to get into wholesaling, what you want to do. And a lot of people say, one guy told me my ex-girlfriend broke up with me and I want to get rich to prove to her that you should have never broken up with me. And this guy, like one guy literally said this to my face and I'm like, dude, you're trying to get rich for a girl that broke up with you. I'm like, dude, if she didn't like you when you were broke, like I said, so you're going to get rich and then you get with her and now you know she's only with you because you got money. Like that's awful. Like that's terrible. Like you're not going to feel good at all. He's like, yeah, that's true. And I'm like, so like a lot of people have this revenge story. It's like, hey, there's these bullies that bullied him, and what he's going to do is he's going to pull up to the high school reunion in like a sick Ferrari 458, with the platinum Daytona on, going out here with your Versace glasses, your iced out grills, and you're going out here trying to like play this game, and you're gonna show everybody in your high school reunion what's up. And I'll be honest with you, like when you actually get that rich and successful, you actually genuinely, if you actually got the money, you don't care what anybody else in high school, you just don't care. Like you genuinely do not care. I remember this very funny stories. I pulled up to somebody in high school that I was not a big fan of, and back in my hometown, whatever, right? And I pull up in something cool, and basically they're like looking at me like, whoa. And genuinely, I felt no pride. I felt bad for this person. Like this is a person who still lives with mom and dad at 28 years old. Like still lives with their parents, still absolutely broke, still absolutely going out here and doing nothing with their life. Like, I just feel bad. Like, I'm not even trying to like show off or like make you feel like it's just sad. And a lot of people in here like who get really rich, it's like you're not gonna have the sick revenge story. You get rich because you want to get rich. That's it. You get rich to just get rich. You do it to prove to yourself and do it for your family. Nothing else really matters. So that, guys and gals, is how you get ahead of 99% of all wholesalers out here in this business. Okay. That is how you go out here and get rich and become successful. So, guys and gals, if you have any questions, let me know. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, I'm more than happy to do that. But yeah, I go live here every Sunday. Sometimes I get a little late. You know, I'm always usually working. I'll be real, and I have to come to the office. I got to prepare for the stream. I got to get everything all ready. But also, I usually have a bunch of meetings and calls and work. Even on Sundays, usually I got something going on, and basically working on some crazy projects. We got our version 2 launch of dollar leads coming on Thursday. That's going to be, it's going to be a doozy. That's going to be another mind breaker. We broke everyone by selling PPL leads for $1. Version 2 is going to be even crazier than that. And then the big kahuna, like that's the last launch, like crazy launch type thing I'm doing for the year, because I'm shutting down any crazy announcements for a very long time. Not very long. I'm shutting everything off so I can focus on one announcement. And everyone knows this is my big one is version 4 of X Leads. This one, I've been sitting on this one for for a while. And this one's going to blow out version 3. And it might even blow out version 2. It's going to be crazy. It's going to send some shockwaves. I mean, we're able to pull probates in version 3. We're able to do all these. Version 4 is going to be insanity. And that's going to be in maybe. I mean, I would say it's over. It's going to be under 40. I mean, under 2 months. It'll be here. I can't speak about it, but all I'm going to tell you is it is going to. Oh man, it's gonna. Oh boy. I'm gonna hire some private security after that one. People are not gonna be happy about it. It's gonna be sick. So if you want to talk to me, I got a StreamYard link. It's right here. Pop it up right here. StreamYard. Right here. If you want to talk, I'm right here. Lucas.
Hey, what's up, Zach?
I'm blessed, man. How are you, dude?
Yo, man, happy Thanksgiving. I hopped on here before in May. I was still in Rutgers, just graduated. Now I'm working. So back then I was wholesaling in Jersey. You told me to switch over to Eastern PA. So I did that. Now I'm doing Northampton, Berks, and Monroe County. I'm all in on probates. So I'm making sure I'm pulling that every single week. I'm pulling that online, which is great. Um, I make sure I call them and then I'm sending letters on average, doing about 30 a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to ask you, as far as like my system, I can go more in depth. I got all the stats. I made sure to come prepared. But I wanted to
I'm
ask,
ready.
so I'm still looking, for my first deal here. I want to ask you, like, do I just got to be more patient, or is there something in my system I'm completely overlooking here?
Okay. Well, give me the results. What have you been doing?
Yeah,
And what's been
so
going
I've
on here?
been cold calling. So total stats I got here, starting from June to now December, I got 52,000 calls, 9% contact rate. Uh,
How many calls?
so 52,000. So over the summer, I wasn't working. I didn't start my new job yet. So I
Okay.
did 21,000 in July,
In
10,000 in
Eastern
August.
Pennsylvania?
Yeah, East PA. So we're talking Berks, Reading,
Okay.
Northampton, Monroe. Um, I
Gotcha.
also did Philly because I was just pulling so many lists at this point. Like I felt like, especially in July when I was making like crazy calls, like I felt like I just kept going over the same list. So I just wanted to like switch it up. I know you said like I think it was like every 90 days
Okay.
pull a new list, and then I've had 9 appointments so far. Uh, 6 of them from cold calling, 3 of them from the letters, 0 from texting. So I've been texting pre-foreclosures as well. So, I mean, I haven't got anything from that, just a few no's.
Okay,
So
good
yeah, basically
result.
per week right now, since I'm working and I'm doing like a lot of overtime, so it's kind of hard during the week. I'll be
Mhm.
getting home around like 7, so it's like, got to help with dinner and stuff. I make sure to call the probates, I'm like trying to be really targeted here. Um, so yeah, basically per week here, I try to go heavy on the weekends with calling and stuff.
Mhm.
So 1,400 calls a week, 30 letters and probates and calling them, and then 90 texts to pre-foreclosures.
Okay. So what have the results been?
Yeah, so basically the results of I went on 9 appointments. I had one property on the contract. Thing is, it was in a really small area in Monroe County, and there's
Okay.
really no great buyers. I locked it up for too much. But
Okay.
since then, I've been trying to really make sure I'm finding actual deals here, not
Okay.
chasing.
So again, you've 21,000 in July.
Yeah, so 21,000 in July,
Give me the stats for
10,000
November.
August. I'm sorry.
Give me the stats for November.
November, I had 5,500.
Okay.
And so I started working in August. That's why you see like a
That's fine.
huge drop down. I wasn't calling, 6
Okay.
days a week anymore.
That's fine.
Um, September, October, I had a pretty big month still with like 7,500. Yeah, December, yesterday I did about like 1,200, and then a lot of overtime, so I didn't really call much during the week. But I got
Mhm.
those texts going automatically on X leads.
So how many texts are you sending out?
So I'm kind of like texting is kind of the newer thing I'm adding on. Like I keep trying to like get something and then try to add on. I'm sending 15 a day, just trying to like start ramping the number up to the pre-foreclosures.
Mhm.
Also, when I'm cold calling, I made an automation that if they don't pick up, I can send them an automatic text. So I
Okay.
usually do that. I usually send like another 20 from there. So if I'm calling that day, it'd be like 30. If I'm not calling, it'd probably be 15.
Okay. All right. So in November, 5,500 calls. How many texts in November?
Let me pull that up for you
Yeah, let
here.
me I'm just get the stats for the last month.
Yeah, I got you. All right, so November, and I really do appreciate you taking the time here to help me out with this, man.
No, I just need
I
to get
just keep
the stats,
thinking to
man.
myself, yo, I got to keep going.
Yeah.
All right, let's get November here. Confirm. Got it on here. 238 cent, 195 delivered. 100 failed because of like landline numbers.
Yeah, 238 texts for the month.
Hmm. And
That's crazy
45
low.
received back that they were like no, and 9 opted out.
Okay. That's like really low, dude. Um, yeah, it's like $2 of texting. I mean, the 5,500 calls are way better. I'll be on, and that's a lot of calls, dude. Making are you using triple line dialer?
Yeah, I'm using Wave Dialer, and I take your advice, man. I try to be like really efficient on the phone. Get down to the point. They're not interested. Hey, thank you. If you ever change your mind, feel free to give me a call. Take care. Hey, no, wrong number. All right, sorry about that. Take care. I try to get as many calls as I can. And I try to always like if I have that time, 2 to 7 p.m. On the weekends or anything like that, I'm making sure, I call as much as I can. And oh, I should have mentioned the lists I'm pulling from X leads are high equities and basically the filters that you show.
How big of a list?
So with X leads, I don't know if I'm just a moron and not seeing it, but I'll see like a list. It'll be like 10,000 that fits the criteria. I can only export 5,000 at a time. I don't know if I'm doing that wrong, so I'll usually just, call that 5,000. I'll mark it based off of the market value. That's kind of how I prevent crossover from lists. I'll mark it like, 220 and under, and
Mhm.
then I pull like that same area. I'll do like 220 to like 300, and that'll also give me like another 5,000. I don't know if I answer your question there. My bad.
Not really, but that's fine. Um, what? Okay, so a couple things I gotta figure out here. So let's talk about this. So you're not making enough texts. You should probably know that. And you're working part-time, which like I get, dude. Uh, I mean, you're working wholesaling part-time now. I mean, I would increase the texts and decrease the amount of calls because you've gotten not much from. So what's your contact rate in November?
In November. All right, let me see here. Let's go. My bad. Give me a second here.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Saying, why is it counting that? That's, hold on.
Yeah, no problem. So what I would say,
All right, I got it here. So my contact rate, I made, 5,600 calls. I got 224 not interesteds and 171 wrong persons, 14 do not contacts, and 9. So what would that be roughly here? If I get
how many people picked up the phone?
Yeah, so 224 not interested plus 171. So what is that, like 400 here? And then about like 425. So yeah, but that's roughly like 9%, right? Maybe
Okay,
a little bit more, like 8.
that's not awful, man. I mean, I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze here, man. So what I would tell you is on 5,500. I mean, I pop up high equities inside of Monroe County. I mean, you're at like 30,000. I'm just popping up right here. I mean, are you pulling government lists or throwing them in there?
Yeah, I mean the biggest government list where it's just like I just went all in here is the probates, and I'm pulling that for Berks, Northampton, and Monroe. So I'll get
So
usually
that
like
list
30
of
leads.
5,500 were all three counties.
Yeah, so yeah, those
Okay,
are high
that's the
equities.
problem,
Also Lehigh County. The only thing with the probates,
dude. Lucas, man, if I replace that list with just vacant high equities, so you got to remember if we pull the list on X leads, and I'm
mm,
just going to do it for you right here just to show you. If we pull the list on X leads and we just did this, right? We added Monroe, Lehigh. I don't know how to spell Lehigh. Lehigh,
yeah, you got it.
Lehigh County. We had Berks County, which is ridiculous. And was the other county?
Yeah, Berks, Lehigh, Northampton, Monroe, and I also pulled a high equity list in Philadelphia. I just finished calling through.
And whatever. I don't want to get in Philadelphia right now. Basically, these three counties, you're going to be 147,000 high equities. So you're called 5,000 out of those many high equities, bro. That is, I'm not a big fan of that. I
No,
would,
no, no. So my bad. Okay, I guess I didn't understand it. So those the 50,000 total calls, those are from the high equity. So that's like it was like 10 of those.
yeah, no. What I'm telling you
Those
is if you could go out here and call 5,500, I would not tell you high equity. I would have, I would just, bro, I would say do the delinquent taxes.
Okay.
That's way better. Let's add in vacant properties too while we're at it. And let's throw in, uh, dude, I don't want to add an absentee owner, but like that's 5,000. It's not a lot. Again, I would be like max 400 single family properties only. This is going to be a smaller list, but
Mm.
I just want to kind of show you the point here.
I think that's kind
Individual
of better now that I have much less time to call. I think it'd be
owned
better just like a
for
targeted list.
4 years, at least 55% equity, right? Let's exclude on market. Exclude active investor owned. I mean, you're at like 1,400 records. I would rather you call this list than 5,000 high equities. It's just way better. It's way more targeted than just a general high equity. You're not running enough volume, dude. Because if I did just I mean, if I just did high equity instead and I got rid of this, I mean, I would be at 88,000. Like, just the juice isn't worth the squeeze here, dude. I would do the way more niched out lists. I add pre-foreclosures in there, probably get an extra 500. Way better, dude. I don't think you're going niche enough. I think that is your issue.
I got you. My only question is, after I call that in about like, I think it would take me a week, or actually it'd probably take like 3 weeks, right, to a
You're at
month.
Philadelphia. You're at like 4,000 there.
Okay. But
That'd
after
take
I
you
call
4
those
weeks.
in a month, you think you just re-pull it every month?
No, then you text that list instead. I mean,
Okay.
you could add some absentees. You can add the evictions. You can add the code violations. I mean, there's so many you can do, dude. I mean, how many probates do you have in all 3 counties? Essentially, let me do it for you. There won't be
Talking
a
about
lot. It won't be a lot.
yeah, it's usually 30 a week. So was that
If I go
120 a
down
month?
here on the deceased probates for the past 2 months, let's just do October till today. Probably won't be crazy big. All right, I got to. Oh wait, because I have all these stupid filters on. All right, let's go here. Okay, why is that low? I got to figure that out. But yeah, definitely on the probates. I got to figure why that's 2. That should not be 2. But no, I would filter that list out. Should be at 35, 4,000. And then you can add some apps and I do it, whatever you can after that. I mean, I would make equity 40%, then you're at 5,000. That list will give you way better results than going out here just doing it general high equity. You're just not the volume to be doing high equity. If you're doing 21,000, yes, but you're not at that volume. So let's niche it out and then we can start expanding from there. You're not wrong, dude. I just think you're putting that action into something that's probably not the best use of your time.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was definitely thinking I have to pivot since it's not the summertime. I don't got that time anymore. But
Yeah, just niche it out, man. That's all you got to do.
gotcha. Also, I signed up for the dollar leads. I think that, I'm willing to, invest into the marketing, with working, it kind of helps out. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think that looking forward to that. Do you know when that's gonna be?
Lucas, bro, to be honest, I see how you're doing everything. The best ROI you can do right now is to text blast, not even do dollar leads.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you the truth. Okay. If you dropped $500 on diamond leads, those are great, but $500 would be 50,000 texts on X leads. That's just a way better ROI for you. It's just, there's not a better return on your investment and your time than texting 50,000 people compared to nationwide PPL if you're individually doing what you're doing, man. Now,
I
if
got
you don't
you.
want to do all that, sure, go on the diamond dollar leads. Like I'm not trying to sell you anything here, but if you want like the best return on your investment, it's going to be texting 50,000 people versus you doing the PPL. And I love the PPL, dude. Trust me.
Yeah, I hear you.
But you're not even doing 50,000 texts. That's way better use of your time and money.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just haven't done the volume to really get anything yet, but yeah, I'll keep going in on the texting.
All right, dude.
All
I'll
right,
see you
thanks,
soon,
man.
man.
I really
Appreciate it, Lucas.
appreciate it.
Thanks for the support, dude. Niche it out and then expand the texting. I think it's going to do a lot better for you.
All right, sounds good, Zach. Thank
All
you.
right. Appreciate it, man. There we go. Triple filter the list. I like that too. All right. Yeah, I don't think it's role playing that's the issue here. I think it's just more niching it out. You got to remember, if he's doing 20, 30,000 calls a month, then sure, yeah, go crazy on the high equities. That's enough volume. You have to go high equity. At 5,000, you can still keep it niched out. Yes, X Leads comes with 25,000 skip trace records with phone numbers for everything. 200 texts, 45 responses. Yeah, texting. I mean, that's insane amount. That's a great response rate for texting. Way better. You can't use Google Voice as a foreigner. Get a VPN. WinScribe is a really good free VPN. Yeah, I'm curious about it too. Olivia says, "What's up?" Shout out to Olivia. She is head of Max Dispo. I think she's in charge of Max there, but basically, she is cool. She does all the stuff at Max Dispo for the JVs. But what's kind of funny is she lives in Kansas, middle of nowhere in Kansas, and me and Rick did 2 deals in Kansas, which I thought was kind of funny. Yeah. Do you automatically get enrolled in updated X Leads if you subscribe? Of course, you get updated in version 4 too. Be pretty cool. So, guys, getting ahead of all these other people in wholesaling is all about you getting out of your own dang way. Show up every single day, do the work, and you will get the results. So, guys, if you got any value from this video, do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe. Go to freewholesaling.com, put it on the bottom, my free real estate wholesaling course and community. It's right here on the bottom. It's the word free and the word wholesaling.com combined. So if you want to learn how to wholesale real estate for free, I have a free course and community. Freewholesaling.com is the best content I've ever put out. Go there, learn how to wholesale real estate for free, get a deal, hop on the stream, start flexing. I want to give a shout out to somebody inside of freewholesaling.com that posted an awesome win. Really pumped me up a couple days ago. Shout out to Charles. Charles out here. Charles Hoover, which interesting name. I guess Drake and Kanye love this guy. But look at this. He JV'd a deal, $23,000. No, $22,500 right here. Charles Hoover, first deal done. Let's stake it. Go! What's up to Charles? Shout out. Appreciate it, guys. Got any value from this video? Smash the like button, subscribe. I'll see you soon. This is Zach Ginn signing out.